Now to South Korea's military, which says Pyongyang has fired at least one ballistic missile from its east coast into the Sea of Japan. The missile was apparently launched from a submarine based in the port of Sinpo. It comes as intelligence envoys from the US, from South Korea and Japan all gather in Seoul. Well, North Korea has embarked on a series of missile tests recently in defiance of international sanctions. The US envoy to North Korea, Sung Kim, has reiterated that the United States is open to meeting North Korea without preconditions. And this was the reaction of Japan's Prime Minister.
North Korea has just fired two ballistic missiles. It is very regrettable that the country has continued launching missiles since last month. I'd rather not predict North Korea's intentions from my point of view, but I think we must continue to try to grasp the situation and gather information.
So let's gather more information. Laura Bicker joins us live from Seoul. And Laura, we talk about North Korea. It's always, we don't 100% know exactly what is happening, but you will fill us in on what we do know about this launch.
So one or possibly two ballistic missiles fired from the east port of Sinpo. Now, what we don't know is whether these ballistic missiles were fired from a submarine or from some kind of underwater barge. Now, previous submarine-launched ballistic missiles, this is kind of a missile obviously designed to come from a submarine, but it can be tested in other ways. And in previous tests, North Korea have used underwater barges, and that was in October 2019. But in January this year, in a military parade, Pyongyang showed off what they called as the world's most powerful weapon, which was this kind of missile, a submarine-launched ballistic missile. Now, what analysts are wondering is if they have now tested it. Now, here in Seoul, the Joint Chiefs of Staff have said it was a ballistic missile. They believe it's possible it could come from a submarine, but we might not know that until we get images. Now, what happens with these images is Pyongyang carefully controls them. They will send out those images in state newspapers and release them on TV, probably within the next 24 hours. That will give analysts a better idea of the kind of capabilities Pyongyang now has when it comes to this fleet. Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves when it comes to the threat. Pyongyang is thought to have only one submarine capable of firing submarine-launched ballistic missiles. Also, they were developing another one in the very port where they fired test fired this launch today. They are thought to be noisy submarines, analysts tell me, so they would be easy to track. So when it comes to the threat, yes, it is there. But what analysts are wondering is how close they are getting to becoming more of a tactical threat when it comes to underwater.
Concern regardless. Pentagon is saying the US is condemning this launch, and it's happening despite various attempts to stop North Korea from doing this, including sanctions. They're still going for it.
Yes, the word deeply regrettable has been used by a number of countries, including here in Seoul. When the National Security Council was convened just after this launch, they said that it was deeply regrettable and comes at a time when all the allies are willing to talk. Now, what are we seeing from Pyongyang right now? It is a whole host of mixed messages. First of all, you've got this string and this spate of new missiles, including at least three new technologies. And then you've got a speech by Kim Jong-un that was published in state media just a couple of weeks ago, saying he may be willing to talk to Seoul if certain conditions are met. So we are getting mixed messages from Pyongyang, always difficult to read. But what's happening with regards to the allies, South Korea, Japan and the United States, is that a flurry of meetings, not just intelligence officers, but also the envoys from Washington. He's coming here, Sung Kim is coming here this weekend to talk to his counterparts in Seoul. The idea is that the allies get on the same page so they are ready if North Korea does at any point say it is willing to talk.
OK, Laura, as always, thanks so much for keeping across all of that. Laura Bicker live from Seoul. Thank you.